Do you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job.
I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested, and I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. P. Diddy.
Katt Williams isn't joking anymore. This time, he's calling out what he believes was left unsaid about the Epstein files. According to him, the real truth didn't make the headlines, and the names being protected are far more important than the ones being exposed. If he's right, then this entire Epstein document release might have been nothing more than a distraction. Remember when Katt Williams was loudly warning everyone that the truth would come out and powerful people would fall? Back then, critics laughed him off. They called him bitter, crazy, desperate for attention. But now, those old warnings are starting to sound different.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
Suddenly, events started lining up. First came Diddy. For years, he appeared untouchable. Extravagant parties, massive influence, critics silenced. Then lawsuits stacked up. Federal authorities stepped in. The same industry that once protected him suddenly acted like they barely knew him. Arrested, convicted, sentenced. That alone shook the culture. And just when people thought that was the peak, the Epstein files dropped. For years, the public demanded transparency. People wanted names, proof, accountability. It felt like justice was being delayed on purpose, like elites were being shielded. Then, in January 2026, under pressure, the Department of Justice released millions of pages. Images, emails, flight logs, messages. Enough material to make powerful people nervous.
Today we are producing more than 3 million pages, including more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. In total, that means that the department produced approximately 3.5 million pages in compliance with the Act.
But here's what stood out. Even with all that information released, many names were still heavily redacted, entire sections blacked out. That's when Ally Carter entered the conversation. She openly criticized the selective transparency. No half-truth, she said. If victims' names are included, so should the powerful figures tied to the crimes. No protecting status, no shielding influence. She even stated that if her own name appeared anywhere in those files, it shouldn't be hidden. Let the truth be complete, she said. That statement alone made people uncomfortable.
Pam Bondi, this is my verbal contract with you. My name is Allison Leilani Ray Carter, and I give you full consent to unredact my name in any trafficking ledger that you find. Especially to connect it to any of the islands. I volunteer for you to unredact my name and dig into my CPS files for CPS corruption out of Riverside County, California, Child Protective Services. Majority of the names that you'll find in my Child Protective Services file will also probably show up in the trafficking ledgers. Those ledgers are insanely detailed. I know some people don't even understand what a ledger means. It's what people are considering or calling the Epstein Black Book. That Black Book has information of when a child was sold, where, what outfit they had on, what time, where they came from, if they came from Child Protective Services custody, if they were a missing child, if they came from over the border, if the child is sick, how much exactly they were sold for. Everything is in those ledgers. We're doing a very good job protecting predators, and if you guys can please, I am begging you to do a little bit of better of a job.
Ollie Carter's public image hasn't always been smooth. She's had emotional live streams, breakdowns, moments where critics dismissed her as unstable or attention-seeking. The internet wasn't kind at first. But when people actually listened, the tone shifted. Her voice shakes. She pauses. She struggles through sentences in ways that don't feel scripted. According to her trauma didn't begin in adulthood. It began in childhood. She claims the very system meant to protect her failed. Instead of safety, she says she was placed in environments where children were treated like commodities, foster placements that weren't about care, but pipelines to powerful adults.
Trafficking over the border was for who? Child Protective Services is your supplier. Is anybody going to talk about that? The immigrants that are coming across the border, that all those kids that they were just scooping up out of boats and out of the water, they're now coming in and they're throwing them right into the system. Aurora, Colorado, Springfield, Ohio. Where do you think all those kids are going?
She says she wasn't invited into those spaces. She was delivered there, underage, confused, surrounded by wealthy grown men she didn't understand. She describes being moved from room to room, treated like a party accessory rather than a child.
I was a party favor.
What does that mean?
I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table.
So you're telling me they set
I set children on a table.
Like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them,
Yep.
and they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak-off parties, they put children on the table instead of gift bags, and then people can do what?
Take you off the table.
And she says she wasn't alone. Other children were there too. Quiet. Frozen. Watching adults laugh and celebrate while harm unfolded around them. She doesn't tell the story dramatically. It comes out in fragments. Whether someone believes every detail or not, one thing is clear. She describes something that deeply shattered her. She's hinted that the consequences followed her long after those nights ended. She has also claimed she was present on Diddy's island. And Diddy and Epstein reportedly moved in similar elite circles. Private jets, isolated properties, environments where normal rules didn't seem to apply.
But again, he's in cahoots with Epstein. And then
was he in cahoots with Epstein,
Yeah.
or was it just a similar type of an operation?
they were friends.
Really?
Yeah, because Epstein had on Miami as well. That really private, rich estate in Miami. So they were all in cahoots as well.
So the public started asking questions. If she was allegedly present around Diddy, could there have been connections to Epstein's island as well? Images from the released files show young girls standing near powerful men, faces blurred, names hidden, but the implications strong enough to disturb anyone. Then Prince Andrew returned to the spotlight. His documented ties to Epstein reignited controversy. Photos, meetings, public scrutiny. The monarchy eventually stripped him of titles and royal privileges. But he wasn't the only powerful name linked to Epstein.
In one email, Epstein claimed he helped, quote, get drugs in order to deal with the consequences of sex with Russian girls and set up illicit trysts with married women. The email also references Gates asking Epstein to provide Adderall for bridge tournaments. One draft email alleges that Gates tearfully asked Epstein to delete messages referencing an STD, writing, "Your request that I provide you antibiotics that you surreptitiously give to Melinda." It also says Gates asked him to delete explicit personal details about his penis.
Bill Gates' name has long floated around the Epstein story. Meetings described as business discussions and philanthropy conversations. However, reports suggested the connection continued after Epstein's conviction. Gates has denied any wrongdoing and expressed regret for ever associating with Epstein.
Apparently, Jeffrey wrote an email to himself. That email was never sent. The email is, false. So I don't know what his thinking was there. It just reminds me, every minute I spent with him, I regret and I, apologize that I did that. It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Melinda Frenchgate's public comments after their divorce added fuel to speculation. She admitted she was uncomfortable with the association and described it as deeply troubling. Many interpreted her tone as relief at distancing herself from that circle.
I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right? So, for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away and I moved on. I'm in a really unexpected, beautiful place in my life. So whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me. Well, and I am so happy to be away from all the muck that was there.
Elon Musk's name also appeared in discussions tied to Epstein-related documents, referencing invitations to events. Musk has denied visiting Epstein's island. Naomi Campbell has faced allegations regarding her association with Epstein as well. Critics questioned whether modeling opportunities were ever used as recruitment tools, though Campbell has denied knowledge of any misconduct.
The paper does manage to make it clear that you were not aware of Epstein activities. Did you know who he was?
Yes, I knew him. I was introduced to him on my 31st birthday by my ex-boyfriend Flavio. He was always front and center at Victoria's Secret shows.
Did you suspect what he was doing?
No. And what he's done is indefensible. And when I heard of what he'd done, it sickened me to my stomach, just like everybody else.
Her past connection to Diddy also resurfaced in public discussions. The two were reportedly close in the early 2000s. Public appearances, celebrations, high-profile events. Once scandals erupted, observers noticed sudden distancing. That raised eyebrows. Donald Trump's name has also been part of historical discussions regarding Epstein due to shared social circles in the past. During his campaign, transparency about Epstein was a major talking point. After the election, critics claimed progress on full transparency slowed. When documents were released, Trump's documented ties appeared limited compared to speculation. Supporters argue that proves innocence. Critics argue the records feel incomplete. The debate remains heated.
I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
If you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these, would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else, really. Now that nothing came out about me, other than there was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
Bill Clinton's past flights on Epstein's plane have been publicly documented for years. Clinton has repeatedly denied knowledge of any illegal activity and stated he cut ties long ago. Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, previously acknowledged financial help from Epstein and later expressed regret. Emails later surfaced showing continued communication, raising further questions. So now the conversation shifts beyond individual names. It's about the system. Why were some identities revealed while others were hidden? Who decides which powerful figures face consequences and which remain protected? And if Katt Williams was right from the beginning, if Ali Carter is even partially telling the truth. How deep does the story really go? Drop your thoughts below. This conversation isn't over. And check out the next video because it goes even further.